Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Kelly and you're listening to the Everywhere We Go podcast. On this week's episode, I sit down with the stars of Gogglebox Ireland, the Cabra Girls. Lindsay, Ashley, Grainne and Jamie. They worry they've nothing to say, but from the get-go, the conversation comes easy, with each of them being as quick-witted as the other. Their friendship is a force to be reckoned with, and is the result of being truly there for each other through thick and thin. The girls talk to me about growing up in Cabra. They're no-nonsense mothers and nannies who, with a gang of women, would take them off to Pwllheli and the likes every year. We talk about the loss of Ashley and Lindsay's mother at a very young age, and the things she has missed out on through the years. We talk about how they joined the cast of Gogglebox Ireland and Jamie's recent loss of her beloved granddad during COVID. I don't think these girls realise how enchanting they actually are. Be prepared for a lot of laughs and maybe a couple of tears. Everywhere we go, people want to know who we are and where we come from. So who are you and where do you come from?
We're the Cabra Girls.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for coming tonight and sitting down with me and having this conversation. Long time coming because...
Yeah, big time.
Thanks
so much for having us.
No, I know, but we tried to organise this loads.
Season 1.
Yeah, it was season 1 actually that we tried to organise it. So many people talk about you. So many people talk about you just from Gogglebox.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I hope it's not all bad.
Yeah.
Good things.
Yeah. Do you think it's good things when people talk about you? You must get lots of feedback
Well,
like
to
that.
our face is good thing.
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Only took us 6 seasons.
I know.
So take it back to the very beginning. So just for anyone who doesn't know you, okay? So who are the sisters and who are the friends?
Me and Lindsay. Ashley and Lindsay are the sisters and Jamie and Grainne are the friends.
And how did that come about?
Well, Ashley and Lindsay's mum and my nanny were best friends. So when they used to go away...
I think she went to the Cabra Girls. No, I didn't. She's right. She's right. I fucking knew. I was like, what's your Margaret to do with this?
No.
I knew he was right. No,
She's right. And that's how we became friends, through their mum and my nanny. My nanny and the girls' mums were our best friends, were best friends. And when they went on their holidays, my nanny brought me, and that's how I met these two.
Like we spent all our childhoods together.
Yeah, like all our holidays together. We were together. Like I started going on holidays with my nanny when I was 4. So, and I would be the youngest out of us.
Yeah.
You know, so... Mad.
And how did you come into Grainne then?
I'm the newcomer.
It doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't feel like it. I don't even know what age, really, to be honest.
We were about 15.
Yeah, about 15. So I would have been friends with Lindsay before the rest. And then just as the years went on, we all just became really good friends. And now it's like, I don't know my life without them.
Yeah, because we all, like my friends, Lindsay's friends, and we've a sister and a brother, all their friends. We're all one big group of friends.
It's like we all integrated together.
So do you all have separate friends?
No.
Not
well, we
really.
have a little few.
Yeah, well, their other sister, she would be my closest friend. But she's the mad one, so I go with her.
Ashley's the mad one.
Ashley's the mad one, so I'd be like, I'll just go with Ashley.
I would say I'm easily led, Jamie.
Yes, well, maybe.
So tell me,
Yeah.
in what way is she the mad one? Tell me about that.
She it's just, when you'd be sitting in, you'd be saying, oh, I'm bored. Ashley, do you want to do something? Before you'd know, you'd be in the back yards of town, swinging out with 2 bottles and 2 pallets, and then you're saying, it's 5 a.m. Where do we go, Ashley? And we'd always end up somewhere together, and we've always a story to tell.
Yeah, we have the best
And we're
time.
always the last to leave anywhere.
They don't know when to go home.
No.
See, it's hard to get me out. I wouldn't go out from one end of the month to the next, but when I go out, I don't want to go home. So Jamie always stays.
How reliable I stay with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes now she does lead me astray. She'll say, come on, we go out early, we're home early. And I'd buy it. And I'd say, yeah, okay. And then come 9 o'clock, I'm like, Jamie, are we going home?
Chinese on the way, and they never get to Chinese.
I'm just getting a few more bottles. Wait, we'll wait now. It's my round. Then it's your round. And then a few more rounds, and then we go home. And then everything's closed and we have to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a great time together.
Well, we do.
And then tell me, what kind of kids were you?
I actually think we were very good kids, weren't we?
We were really good kids. We're so good on holidays.
We were.
So good. We all went together. We never fought or anything on holidays because your man would kill you.
What we were told to do, we did it.
Yeah.
Do you know, we'd all stay together. We'd never leave anyone out.
Mind each other. Don't have them coming back and saying that. Or if you went back and today said, don't mind them. There was none of that, wait until I get them, go out and tell them, shut up and don't mind them, look after each other. Yeah. It was great.
But like these holidays, it wasn't just us. It was like a whole group of women from Cabra and all the kids.
There used to be the guts of 75 people, I'd say, going on holiday.
Really?
Yeah.
Get the boat to Pwllheli.
Yeah.
It was mad.
They were the best.
I wouldn't do it now.
I would.
I totally would.
Even I'd go to Pwllheli now.
We should bring all you as our children and do it.
Yeah.
Do you think the kids don't have or will ever have the experiences that we had growing up?
No.
Not with social media now and they're mad into
You haven't got the freedom.
They don't even go out and play the way we did. They all have their mobiles. They wouldn't know when to come back. Like, you know the way you used to say, I'll knock around for you to your friend, and you literally knocked around. You wouldn't ring if they weren't in and you'd know when to go home.
Yeah, when the street lights came off, you knew you had to go home.
Yeah.
Like I even said to my niece, she's Kerry's 6, and I said to her today only, something came up when I was saying, back then I used to play 40-40, kick the can, bulldog, and she was like, why would you want to kick the can? You didn't actually kick the can. I'm trying to explain to her these games that now she's all about, Roblox or whatever it's called, or YouTube clips of these American kids.
Opening a bleeding Kinder egg.
Kinder egg is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, instead of having their own Kinder egg, they want to watch other people opening it.
So
it's
true.
Mad.
Like we'd play skipping for hours on end and get the best crack out of it.
Yeah, but they don't go out. And do you know what's terrible is it's not really that safe for them either.
No.
So like you can't just throw them out the door and say, go on, come back in when it's getting dark. You can't do that.
In saying that though, where I live, we're facing like a field and all the kids play out. Like it's not like in Cabra where we were brought up. They don't play out anymore because the streets are wild. Like the cars are going up and down. It's nowhere really
too
to play.
busy, yeah.
But like the green that's crossing us is a playground, and then it's a big, huge green. Like my little boy will go out there with all his pals, play football, and like still be at 9 o'clock now with summer outside. Do I have to come home? And all the kids are out, so you don't mind it because we literally see him from the window. You know where he is, but like a lot of people don't have that these days.
No. And you see, back then it was some families didn't even have a car. Like, or you only had that one and that was your one car. Now we've got families with every person in the household, you get to a certain age, gets a car. So the road was covered in cars.
Yeah.
So even where I grew up was a main road, but it was still a safe. You would run across the road and have games in the middle of the street and you have the odd car coming up.
And you'd have the swing.
And you'd have the swing on the pole. And the only thing we were scared of was the man who used to come out and cut us down when we were on it. That's what we were scared of. Now you couldn't do that.
Now I'd be nervous even crossing your road because it's so busy.
Yeah. So busy.
That's because of the Lewis, I'd say.
Isn't it mad that you just said that's the only thing as children that you were scared of?
Was the man who there was a man in our road who used to call him Mad Richie, and he used to throw his mother out the top bedroom window. Now he wouldn't open the window. It was the old windows, you know, the one where it was the big pane, then you had the top little.
His mother?
He used to throw his mother, yeah.
She's like a cat with 9 lives.
Swear to God, we'd be out playing.
So was he, Richie.
Yeah,
Mad
summer holidays, we'd be out playing, and all you'd hear is, and you'd look and she'd be mid-flight, and she'd land on the grass in the garden.
Did Shepard die from that?
No.
Was he ever arrested?
No, he'd be taken off, and then you'd see him the next few days. He'd get the window put in, and the two of them be walking down the shop again together. And then you'd say 3 weeks later, she'd be gone again. And like then he was the only road in the house that didn't have a car. Like they had a clear gap for the swing. So one day we were there on the swing, and you used to put the pillow down for your arse.
Because your little arse would be killing you.
And I don't know who it was on it. And one of the girls was really great at lifting you up really high. And he came down with a garden scissors and chopped it down while he was mid-flight.
It's the person, all right.
Yeah, they were grand. Like, but that's what he done. How they actually died was they got drunk in the house one night, and the house went up. Aww. And he died, and she was taken into say Brendan's or one of those, and she died about a year later.
Oh, that's sad though, isn't it?
Yeah, but she went out that window. Like one time he put like she went out, and then a pot of stew went over. Like anyone
like that.
Anyone that lives on my road,
I can
would
verify
know
this is 100% true, because Grainne is 3 roads away from us, say,
yeah,
and Everyone on my road was terrified of him because he'd walk.
Remember, he used to run through the church.
Stop up and down.
You
One
wouldn't
day he
even knock on
chased
the
me
door.
and he said, I'm going to get you, you fat little bitch.
Cheeky him.
Yeah, I didn't even call him out, and I was terrified I wouldn't say that. And he chased me.
He chased me, a load of lads. You'd never do knickknacks, right? And these group lads that weren't even off the road. I was disgusted with them because they didn't even live on the road, and they went in and done a knick-knack, and we were sitting down like a good 10 doors down on the opposite side of the road, and he must have just looked down and seen us. Well, he took chase at us. I had to run around the whole block.
He was a fast
and sneak into my house. He wouldn't see
Mad
me.
hair, didn't he?
He was really tall, and he kind of reminded me of if Mr. Bean was 6'4".
Now, do you know who he in my head? What he is you know your man of Halloween H2O, Michael Myers. That's exactly like.
Oh no, he wasn't.
I don't know who he is.
He was Mr. Bean because
Lindsay,
he wore
you
this.
wouldn't have came out your front door if you ever seen Richie.
Yeah,
No.
Lindsay was too quiet for Richie.
And I wouldn't mind. His dad was a lovely man, a lovely, like genuinely lovely man, and he ended up dying of cancer. I think his name was Jim or something. And he was a lovely man, but Betty and Richie could look to you.
Yeah,
Them two were as mad as a box of frogs.
but that's all you would be afraid of.
That's it. Like
That was the fear on air road, not anything else, not getting a smack of a car or.
We were like a little bit not wilder, but we would have been as wilder as this one.
Yeah.
She was as quiet growing up.
Lindsay's very pure as a child.
Like Lindsay, like it only came out of Scouts when she was what, 19, 20?
About 23.
Did you really?
Yeah. Went knacker drinking for the first time at 22.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was like, what are they doing in here?
Yeah, I always said that. What do you do?
Like, what do you do?
I always seen her in her uniform.
A little toggle.
Hell yeah.
A woggle.
Is that what it's called?
A woggle, yeah. I thought it was a toggle.
No, what's it called?
But when I went back, I went back as a leader, and I thought, they've given me so much, like of my childhood, it's time to give back. And then I brought all the kids camping and left my kid at home, and I was like, what am I doing? So I had to just stop it.
She comes in handy when we go camping.
Oh yeah, she does. Like when we go to electric picnic and all, she'll whack that tent up, not about her.
In seconds.
It's like a female Bear Grylls.
I won't go that far because she won't sleep in it. Remember the night the bad red, she skivvied off into the mobile home.
Yeah.
I was puking from that Chinese we had.
I nearly suffocated in the little one-man tent being Ronnie was shooting.
So bring it back for me about who's a mammy? Where's the mammies?
Me and Lindsay.
The two of yous, yeah. My father tells me I deserve Aria because Aria breaks my
keeps you on
heart.
your toes,
Do you know what I mean? And my dad,
My son is actually very good. Like, sometimes I wouldn't even know I hadn't. Then before I was coming here, I was like, I'm going to kill him. He doesn't stop. But, like, he is good. But he's a 4-year-old. Do you know what I mean? He wants to swing out me light bulbs. He wants to do Peter Pan off me and curtain pole. Sometimes I'd be like, will you just stop for a minute? But now he is good, but I was good as a child. I was good. It was as I got older, I went wilder, and as I'm going into my 30s, it's not stopping. The way people used to say, you'll grow out of it. I haven't. I've probably escalated more.
Yeah, we have. As we've gotten older, it's like the freedom.
Like when I was in my teens, you might say you can go because Ashley's going. Little did you know Ashley was the bad influence. I was like, yeah, let's go, Asho. Now my man's like, who's going? Whose room are you staying in? Was it you and Asho?
So then you're not going.
Yeah.
Won't see you for a week.
so tell me a little bit about his nights out.
We just don't start. Like the last lockdown, we went to Athlone for overnight when it lifted, and Lindsay's like, I'm staying with Ashley and you're staying with Grainne, right?
They separate us.
So I was like, oh yeah. And I said to her, oh God, Lindsay, that's going mad. Oh, I said, well, that's it now. They're not coming down here for a drink. We're going to their room. Now, lo and behold, me and Asho ended up in their room till 7 in the morning with Grainne in and out sleeps on the bed.
And Lindsay actually in now asleep on the bed as well.
Yeah.
You were in
She
with us as
left.
well, didn't you?
She left at like 2:15.
Was it?
Yeah.
I was away for a little bit longer.
Thank God I did, because you couldn't drive us home.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Lindsay had to take the car. I was at driving down, and then when I woke up the next day I said I don't feel fit to drive. So Lindsay drove.
It's always the way.
Yeah.
What has been your best trips?
Oh, some mad ones, some great ones.
Lindsay's hens.
Carrick-on Shannon
was a great
Lindsay's hands when we went to Lisbon was actually brilliant.
It's great.
Our friend's sister's hens in Carlow.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
I don't think we've had one bad holiday. Even like the bad ones where they, you know, where we've stayed has been bad. Like we went one time to Liverpool.
Oh,
And where we stayed,
I wouldn't send a letter to the dump, Rebecca. That's how bad it was. I wouldn't send a letter to it. And it was in the height of summer. Fucking Liverpool we went to.
oh, it was brilliant. Like, those memories for me, I love it.
I
Even
hate it though. That's the last time I was in Liverpool. I never went back.
No, it was tiny. And me and Jamie were sharing a room, and the window would literally open the crack. You couldn't breathe, and we were fighting over who was taking more oxygen than the other. The toilet was in the shower.
I thought it was a wardrobe. I look at that wardrobe. That's the toilet.
Like you couldn't swing cat in it. It was mad, but I loved it.
And it was all dirty men that were walking over, staining it.
Oh, stop.
It was on the docks, like. So
I
we didn't know
wasn't
it.
there,
No,
was I?
you
I
wouldn't
wasn't
stay in
there
it.
for that.
And we'd never complain. And Jamie had to go down to reception the next day. She said, "Look, I'd never complain. But is there any chance I could have a fan?" And the
Mum
woman
said no.
No, while she was using one.
The fan is spinning around. I was like, I can't play in the room. And I like went in bunk beds and I swear, and I was losing the plot. I was saying, I'm not going home. I'm not staying down there. There was men, dirty old men everywhere. How are you girls? I was like, oh, Mummy, what are we going to do? Is there any chance I can have a fan? Thing is swinging beside her. No.
And Jamie, you stayed on the top bunk, was it? Or was it me?
She said on the
I
top
stayed
bunk,
on
she
the
kept calling me.
you couldn't sit up in it because like that was there's the bed and there's the ceiling. So like your head was going to bounce off, like you wouldn't even put a child in it. And I used to drag her up beside me. I'd say, come on, the two of us sitting on the side of it. And I'd say, Jamie, we go down and get me water.
That, go down and get this. You're laughing in the room, the security man came out and said, you don't keep it down. And it's just me and her in the room, you don't keep it down, throwing you out.
I laughing. Stop. Yeah.
It was mad. That was
like,
a mad holiday.
Yeah, great memories.
Yeah.
As bad as it was.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had one bad holiday.
No, I don't think so.
What was your hands like?
experiences, but we've always came home happy. The hens was amazing.
Oh, it was
Went to Lisbon, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you go all out for each other on those special occasions?
Well, this was the first, like, I'm the first to get married out of the group, so it was like brand new, like, adventure for us all. Do you know what I mean?
we'd book on to anything. So like someone in Cabra is getting married, forcing his bookers on their heads. Yeah. We don't know who's
We're
going.
on the bus.
We're all going. We'd go anywhere. Like we have great times. But Lindsay's was the first that she was one of us that we could experience it with her. Do you know? Like we weren't just going along for the crack.
What was the wedding night like? What was the wedding like?
I said, what was the wedding night like?
Yeah, do you want to tell me about that? What was the wedding like?
The wedding was fab. Like, we got married down in Sligo in a castle. It was huge. And it was just amazing. Like, we stayed down there that night, and we had a day 2 wedding in Sligo, and everyone stayed over. Ashley was maid of honour. Jamie sang at the wedding. I'm going to return the favour someday.
Yeah, maybe.
Please don't.
Like everyone was just involved in it. Like it was amazing. And like all the kids were involved in it. Like when we walked up the aisle, every like bridesmaid had a baby to walk up. Billy, my little boy, he was only, I think he'd only,
not even one, was
he
he?
was about 11 months when we got married. And Ashley had to carry him up. So like her flowers were thrown to the side because he fell asleep.
He was
Literally
asleep
5
while I
minutes
was
before.
walking up the aisle and slept through the whole ceremony actually. And only woke up then at the end.
Yeah, but it was really fab. Like the church was inside the castle.
Oh, really? Where was it?
It's called Mercury Castle in Sligo.
Wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely stunning. Like, stunning. I'd go back and do it again.
Would you?
Oh my God. If I could do it again tomorrow, I would.
So many people say that. Yeah, I did the hens again, but probably wouldn't do the wedding again. The stress
I
of
did the
it.
hens again.
But we had the Lisbon hens and then we done a Dublin hens for like all the people that couldn't make it, but we only done friends for our holiday abroad. And then what did we do? Bottomless Prosecco in town.
Yeah.
We had a great day as well.
Yeah. Didn't get home till like 3 o'clock.
You milked that wedding.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you milked that
the
down.
whole thing.
So talk to me about Jamie's singing. What's that about?
Oh, Jamie the great little thing.
I love a little bit of karaoke. I love it. Only in the pubs.
Right.
And we were after going to get your dress, looking for your dress. So I went with them. And to celebrate that, she had to picking out our dress. We went back to Lindsay's to have a couple of drinks. And she was like, Jamie, would you sing at me wedding? Me refusing. Of course he will. Knew I said it, but it was like, maybe they'll forget.
Yeah.
Didn't say anything to anyone. And then the week before our wedding, she's like, so you know what song I want you to sing? Yeah. I was like, Lindsay, seriously, are we going ahead with this? She's like, yeah. And then the day before I was going to wedding, I was saying to my mum, I have to sing it to him. My mum was, what are you going to sing? But it turned out fine now, fairness. I was so nervous.
What did you sing?
Stand By Me.
Oh, lovely.
In the Florence Machine.
No, I actually don't know.
Oh, it's good. Just listen to it. It's on Spotify. But I was so nervous.
Give us a bar there, will you?
Imagine. I said with Grainne the night before the wedding, Grainne, what was I like?
We just share a bed and
I kept calling.
It was like you have to be in bed by this time now. We have to have an early night, and then it was like 2:30 and we're still up. We're like, right, no, girls, you have to go to bed. Got into bed to her, and here she was. Earphones in, and all I could do was stand by me. And I was like, I'm getting serenaded to sleep here tonight. This is great.
Oh, it was so nervous. So nervous. But it turned out grand. And then the man didn't even record it, didn't he now?
No. The video.
Did you not?
Missed it.
Oh, I'd say you were raging.
No, I was kind of delighted. So everyone was saying, let us hear it. Like anyone, my family that didn't go, they were like, let us hear it. And I was like, oh, I haven't got it. And I was like, oh, maybe Lindsay will have it.
Did he even get Craig? No. Her brother's a singer and he sang her Walking Up the Aisle. He was groomsman.
Yeah.
And sang her Walking Up the Aisle, and he's in a band. So his friend then with Jamie sang most of the church, but I don't think the man got any of the songs.
No, we got the first dance. Craig sang the first dance as well. It was lovely. That's the only song he got. Yeah, right.
Missed the whole church.
And come here, Jamie, would you normally, like, other than karaoke, like, to stand up in front of a church, you must have some confidence in yourself, or is it?
See, it's people ask me when I'm gargle.
Okay.
And she can't back
like
down.
at one of my uncle's funerals, someone asked me to sing at that. And I did, because obviously he was my uncle. Then my nanny's brother passed away, and they were like, sure, you're just going to sing that, aren't you? And here I was staring at my nanny now. She's like, you will, I'm start making a show of me in front of my sisters. You'll do it. And then Lindsay's wedding, that was it. But if I'm in a pub here, there'd be a karaoke, don't put my name, go on, Grainne, go on.
On start. No. Make sure it's that song, tell them not that other song.
Yes. And then she gives it... God, just put me in.
But I'd be very nervous of it doing it seriously. Do you know what I mean? I mind doing it in the pub for a laugh. Do you know that way?
Yeah, she doesn't know about it. And I always wanted to do karaoke, and up until a few years ago I hadn't I know? No. So she said one day, right, Ashley, what's your favourite song? And I said, Islands in the Stream by Dolly Parton. Love and Kenny Rogers, right? So she said, grand, we're over in Benidorm. I think it was the fourth night, wasn't it? In this packed out
We
pub.
literally just put her foot into the pub and I put her name up.
So I said, yeah, I'm going to have to go up. No, she did. She carried me through the whole thing and I had a great time. I said, oh, I could actually do that again. It's not as daunting as it seems, but the pub emptied.
There wasn't a soul left in the pub. It was just us and the people that we went in with the hens.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, but it was when Lindsay got up to sing and emptied.
All right, okay.
They were all right for
What
us.
did you go up to sing?
Crazy.
Do you love a karaoke like you all sing? Will you sing as well, Grainne? No.
Grainne, I don't think I've ever heard your own
I don't get up
karaoke.
and sing.
You did. You sang at you sang in Lisbon, Grace.
Oh yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I wouldn't up on it like
You were
a
very good
microphone.
singing that.
Yeah. You have that now, too.
When we're having a drink, we love a sing song. We wouldn't even think about other people listening. We'd just sit there and at the end of the night, Jamie say, right, who's starting to sing song? And we'd all have to have
And you
a song.
wouldn't be sober.
And what songs did you sing?
Oh, well, most of the time it'd be ballads, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Depends on where we are.
We love
We'll
a
sing
ballad.
And if you don't know the words, just put on Spotify and mumble the bit you don't know. It's
Or we'll
grand.
keep it on repeat until we start. Like, we literally went down to Cavan one weekend and Ashley needed to learn the words to Island in the Stream. When I say it went back to back, and then she says to me, don't play that again. Right? So I went, all right. Go on, she'll play it again. I was like, I'll knife you. I swear to God, if I did this one more time.
Yeah.
Like
I had
people
to
in
learn.
Cavan actually complained.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they
About
did.
Islands in the Stream.
Stream.
They never heard
It's
that.
like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
How would you know you were sleeping
We
in your
rented
mobile
out that
home?
pitch.
You didn't, your Polly.
We did. I think we have €3 a night. I like have €3 to sing.
What did you didn't stay at a hotel? Where did you stay?
We camped.
Right.
We camped literally on
down on
this
this camp.
We got a line of a pop-up between us. We nearly perished. Grainne, I don't know how I didn't get floors.
But just go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah, well, I think we would.
No, when you say anything.
I'm very easily led.
Right.
No, with this. I am. I'd go anywhere with you.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do
I don't really
anything.
make the decision.
No, we'd go anywhere, but the doing the stuff, like I wouldn't do everything.
These are windy fuckers. You say yeah to and then when it comes to it, I can't do that. No. I'll watch you.
Like we love the day drink and we love the old little granddad's pubs and like very rarely we'd stumble into a nightclub at the end of the night, but like we wouldn't be out till all hours in nightclubs. We'd be like hoping we could stay for a late drink in a pub.
Yeah. We don't do girly holidays, we do lads holidays. Just as females. Drink all day.
Not sleep all night.
And like Lindsay does, we'd go to Benidorm and Lindsay'd be like, please, can I have one night in a restaurant with a dinner? We're like, I haven't missed that chips and get over it.
They won't let you eat. Just keep drinking. You can sleep when you're dead. That's all she says to you.
You can't buy anyone's memories.
That's how she gets me. Ashley, look, you can't buy this memory. Come on.
Whose line is that?
That's yours.
Jamie's.
I'd say, you're going to be raging when I tell you what happened tomorrow and you're not going to be in that memory. I'll go on, wait, I'll get dressed.
And she'd say to me the next morning, I'd be dying, Ashley, come on, look, we're going down here, I'll get you a bit of breakfast, grand. And she'd literally have to drag me down, and next of all there'd be a bucket of Corona put in front of me. And then it's 3 o'clock and I'm like, I can't find my way home. How am I supposed to get home? Why has nobody fed me?
I have to sleep.
Oh, I sleep.
Yeah.
I go home, I'd get about 4 hours a night.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And then I'd be saying to them, come on, we're on our holidays, we'll be grand, come on. But they'd be like, we want something to eat. And it's like, we're in the bar, get tortilla chips. She's like, it's 10 in the morning. I don't want
Jamie
them.
Jamie will go, well, we can sleep. And then we'll be all sitting around and we're like, right, just get the fourth drink down, so grand. And she does this, puts the sunglasses on and sits like this way, and you won't see her moving. She's fast asleep. This thing can sleep sitting up.
I'd be telling her all my inner dark secrets, everything. And then I'd be sitting this side, Jamie, even listening and doing that. She's like, what? I'm asleep. Asleep sitting at like Tiki Beach at the bar. I'd be, what? I'm about to tell you everything. Oh, I didn't hear you. Thank God.
Where's your favourite place to go that you have been together?
I love Benidorm, but any place that we're at the bin, I've always had a good time. There's no way that I'd say, oh, well, except for that time in Liverpool. That's the only time.
I'd go back there just for the memory.
I'd never go back to Liverpool.
Would you not?
Never. I nearly fell in front of a truck. Didn't even help me.
I go back to Liverpool.
My foot fell out of the bleeding shoe.
I knew Jen's sandal, she was at the point.
My foot fell. Her and two other girls you with left me. A truck had to roll back onto the path, and like we are walking up a motorway.
It was the grass in the intersection up.
Gushing.
We were.
Why were you there?
That's where we was staying.
I'm like, why were you in Liverpool? I went to Liverpool and I was in a square drinking with the girls.
Yeah, we've done that loads of times, but this one, it wasn't me that booked it. Somebody else that goes to see matches booked it. Because it's near the stadium, but it's nowhere near the town.
Who did you go with?
We went with Carla, wasn't it? And
Carla, Nicole, and Lauren moved to London. She came down to meet us.
See, that's our little sister's friends.
Right, okay.
That's that group of friends. That's why we weren't there.
Never again. The three of them walking up, boom, my knee was busted. It was, oh my God, I had to roll back, right? I was like, he's helped me up. No, I had to walk back because my shoe snapped. All the way back down the motorway. Here she was, are you sure I need the town? I've no fucking shoe. I've no shoe. I've no money to buy another pair of shoes either.
Grand, you're lucky you have 20 pairs back in the round there at the buy.
Look, you can't buy memories.
Oh, that is so funny. Come here, do you ever fight?
No, not really.
No. Like we have sister fights, like small sister fights. It wouldn't be.
What's that like for you when they have sister fights?
Very awkward.
Yeah.
I think you've been around that long that you know what we're like.
Depends on the fight.
Yeah, at the start it used to be really awkward. Like when we used to go to Tullamore, if they had a fight over like a makeup brush, one would take all the makeup off, and now I'm not going out now. And then Grainne would be staring at me, she's not going out, I can't go out. I'd say, my sister's going out.
It's hard because there's 3 sisters.
Right, okay.
No, so I'd say, I'm going to have to go on Nicole, she's going out. She's doing, Lindsay's not going out now.
Because when we first started getting together as a group, so like Jamie had her sister, I had my sister, and then Ashley had her friends who was their sister, right? But I couldn't be with that sister. because that sister would go mad that I was with this sister. Like me and Lindsay had one of our biggest fights over Ashley.
We had our only fight.
Yeah,
like, and it was the biggest fight we've had.
Yeah, and it came up on my Facebook memories the other day. It was 11 years ago.
And she said it to me. She was like, Ashley, look at this. I was looking at her hair because her hair was cut really short into a pixie cut. I said, oh, Lindsay, look at that haircut. She said, no, that's the night I caused killings.
Do you want to talk about it?
Bit of therapy.
Well, we had a few drinks before going out, and it was all of our friends that went out, and then you came as well, because we were living together at home, and we had pre-drinks in the house, and I was after drinking Southern Comfort and red lemonade. I'd never drinking it before, so
she's not allowed to drink it again.
Right.
But
just doesn't agree with it.
These two were just sitting in the corner for the whole night, having a great time, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Why? That's my friend. Why isn't she talking to me?
And I actually never even got offended that I wasn't. That's my sister. Like everything was, that's my friend. Yeah, but what about me?
I know, but now I'd be like, that's my sister.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, sorry.
If anyone asked me who my best friends were, I'd actually say Lindsay and Nicole.
Don't worry, Jim.
You're my best friend, Jamie.
You're my favourite out of the four.
Yeah.
So you was like Amber, your sister Amber is younger than you, and you don't have sisters, so you're like your sister. Like,
Yeah,
for you,
I'm an
what is my
honorary
plus one?
Gallagher.
She goes everywhere with me.
I do actually.
Like now it's grand when they fight. We're just like,
Oh yeah, here we go.
Or you'd probably say, Ash, look, or leave her alone, Ash. So leave Lindsay alone. You'd joke about
Is
it.
it not the opposite?
No,
It always is.
for years I used to be like, just pick on you, Lindsay.
But now you know.
Now I kind of know.
But in saying that, we don't have big arguments and like that. We literally have,
Like probably once a year we'd have a little argument like that.
yeah, we'd be like, oh, will you stop doing that, or fuck off, or why did you say that? And literally 10 minutes later, yeah, all right, do you want a cup of tea? Do you know, it's never at like where we don't talk to each other.
I think that's normal. Like you're supposed to have fight with your siblings, aren't you? Do you know that way?
Oh yeah, anyone looked at her crossways, I'd dick them.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Like in my group of friends, they would have, I didn't realise, but they actually thought I was a bully for years. I never realised I was a bully, but apparently I was, because I was the bossy one. I was the bossy one in the group. And then there was one that we always had to mind. So who's the bossy one and who's the one you have to mind?
Lindsay, we have to mind.
And I'd also say she's the bossiest one. I'd say she's both.
I think she's progressed.
Right.
Lindsay's great at planning. Like, oh, you have to do this, and we're doing this, and we're doing that.
She'd have an itinerary for things, which is great because we need that.
Yeah.
They can't make up their mind, whatever. Look, whoever wants to go wherever. And you'd be sitting, like, we're trying to book a holiday. We're trying to book just a girls' weekend away, and we're trying to book it fucking months. And this weekend we're like, we have to book it. And then someone's like, we'll see. Yeah, all right, we'll go here. And no one can actually make a decision. So it's like you kind of have to push them into making a decision.
Lindsay would get really irritated over that. Like that would annoy her until it's booked and a date's locked in. She's like, right, Grant.
And that wouldn't bother me.
No,
I just say, let us know that date.
The rest of us all probably
You're very laid
Lindsay's
back.
going to do it. It's grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you are the bossiest one and the one that we do mind as well.
Lindsay's not as street smart as the rest of us.
And you think all that scouts training she would be.
Yeah, I know.
She's great for pitching a tent but and making plans, but you kind of have to mind her. But yeah, don't get on the wrong side of her.
Oh, God.
So you learn things here, don't you?
You definitely do. And what about your bad traits, girls?
Oh, we have loads. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
And then can I ask, and you just can tell me now if you want, can I ask what it was like then when your mum passed away?
I think like our mum was sick for a long time, for about 8-9 years before she passed. So, and she was in our hospital for weeks and months on end. So I think it took us a good few years. Like I'd say only in the past few years, we're only realising that she has passed, and it's been 17 years now. But it's only recently that we're like, oh God, she's actually not coming back. But we just kind of got up and got on with it. I don't know if it's because we were so young and like that we didn't really know any differently. But at the time, I think it was very hard, but we were okay. Whereas I think the friends were more worried about, oh God, they're after losing their mum. Whereas we were just trying to hold each other together and weren't really thinking about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you, Linz?
Yeah, like it was just, I thought that this is how everybody's family was, you know? Like I thought that everybody's mum had to go to hospital.
Yeah. It was just all we knew. Like it was always either appointments out in St. Luke's or being away for long periods of time. Like most of Lindsay's childhood, she would have been away from us for the weekend. Her and Nicole would go off. Auntie Linda would look after them, and then me and my brother would go around and stay at me nannies. But we just thought that was normal. You know, we actually didn't know any differently. And the best thing that ever came out of something like that was how close the four of us are together. Like even now we do everything together.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 17. It was leaving cert year.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was 17. How old are you?
14.
And Nicole was 13.
12.
And then Craig was 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baby.
And then you then at 17 doing your leaving cert, and then like a baby kind of, because he is the baby.
Yeah,
I
he
call
is
my
the baby
as well.
Yeah.
Like did you kind of go into like a mother role, or?
I kind of already done it beforehand, like that I wouldn't have known any differently, but we'd all kind of mind each other. Do you know, like our vibe was going out, Lindsay would look after Nicole and Craig, but yeah, after she passed, yeah, like there was things I wanted to do and I wouldn't do them until like the kids were older. Like, you know, if I wanted to go traveling or anything, I'd say no, that can wait until, like Craig was only 9. Do you know, you have to wait until he's that bit older. He's still in school. These were all still in school. Yeah.
But I think it's just now, you know, like say you have your wedding day or you have your babies. I think that's the hardest out of everything. Like that growing up, you kind of just were like, yeah, she's not here anymore. Like, and that was that. I don't think we ever really like digested it. Whereas when things happened, like even the likes of Deb's graduations and stuff, it's like, oh, she's not here. And you like that you miss big time.
Yeah. Like, and I know when Lindsay went in both times to have our babies, I cried. I was like, oh God, like, because I can't help her with things like that. I don't know. I'm not a mother. I was saying, all you want is your mammy, do you know? And she didn't have them. And when Nicole went in to have the babies, it was the same thing. And on the wedding morning, I was trying my best not to get upset because, like, you can't say her mum's name around her or anything to do it, and she'd get a bit teary, do you know? So I was like, right, just don't bring it up. But she was there the whole day. It was lovely. Like, it was actually Lindsay got married on her birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, and she had like a big table and balloons and everything for her. It was lovely. It was really nice. But yeah, she's missed awful because everywhere you walk around Cabra, it's like, your ma was great crack. Oh, we loved your ma. Like, and all our childhood stories is of Jamie's nanny and my mum together. Yeah.
How did your nanny deal with it, Jamie?
Oh, she was heartbroken. Like, I was 13 when their mum died, and I remember me mum telling me, and she was like, Nicole's mum was at the dying. And I remember just feeling, oh my God, like, what are they going to do? Do you know what I mean? And then me nanny was just heartbroken. Like, that was our little pal. They went down, had a few drinks together. And then when Imelda was sick, me nanny used to go around and sit around the house and that. But she just was kind of never the same after. Do you know, that way? It was our little friend, our little confidant, do you know, that way? And then it was when we started going away together, sometimes we'd go to Solomon, my family. Me nanny would love if the girls went. Yeah. Because we'd go up to the room, we'd have a cup of tea and she'd say, Jamie, I love when they come down. I love being able to see them and they're mad, love it and all. And then sometimes she'd say, oh God, looking at me, heart's breaking. But then she'd say, no, I'm delighted I get to see them. She'd be so proud of them, do you know, that way? Like, so it was a bit kind of bittersweet for her, do you know, that way? So, but she missed her terrible. Like, she was heartbroken for her.
Because it's, and I said this in the other one, and Alice and her sister dropped dead in a nightclub. She fell to the ground and she had a 5-year-old at the time. Oh God. And I actually had a conversation where she wasn't on the podcast, but she actually came into my DMs and we had a conversation back and forth. And she said, you know, I would just have loved, as a child, I would have just loved, now she's 21 or something, but she's saying now at 21, I would have liked me in my life more.
Yeah.
She's like, now. She's like, but I at the time, she was like, my mum was gone and I was with my dad. She was like, so I didn't really, and even at 13 or 17, I don't think you deal with the grief.
No.
Yeah, I really don't. I think like as we got older, it got harder. Like,
so much harder.
Well, at the time you think this has to be the hardest part. Like, it's going to get better. It's just weird how it works.
Yeah.
But at that stage when she did pass away, we didn't know anybody else like around us, even in Cabra. I didn't know anybody who died. I don't think like there wasn't anyone in our circle or like our mom's friends or whatever who had passed.
No, she was the first. We actually had like a lot of community support. Like, because our mom came from a big family and our dad has a big family. So like there was always someone there. Like my mom's sister was great. She was down with us all the time. Like she looked after us and made sure we were all right. So we like, not that we hadn't got anyone that had passed away, but there was a lot of people around us, you know, to make sure we were okay. And it's only kind of now that you like, I'm 35 and we were only talking the other day that I didn't realise, like when you think of your dad, you think your dad, but like my dad was 39 when my mum passed. Do you know, like that's only 4 years away. I'm like, how did he even cope with 4 kids?
And how did he cope?
I think like he coped as much as he could, didn't he?
Yeah, he did the best that he could for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But like we'd all like muck in as well, do you know? Yeah.
And I just said that her legacy is probably that, the bond. Because I have to be honest, which is I have got a great group of friends, but I don't actually know a great group who are so close and are so entwined with friends and brothers, sisters and all in your group. I actually don't know. So that's probably like that she's left a great legacy because you have got a fabulous bond.
Yeah, she has, yeah. And like, you'd know, like the newer friends or, you know, the partners that come in and we'd all be sitting and we'd be talking about all times and whatever. And they'd say, oh God, like, isn't it mad? I never even got to meet her. I hear all these stories, but I never got to meet her. And I'd be like, oh, you missed out, pal. You missed out.
What kind of mammy was she?
A very funny mammy, I'd say. Was she?
I remember from holidays, she didn't care on the holidays, like them all back then. There was no worries when your kids went out. So you know, be on holidays and she'd just say, go on, they're all going together, and she always had a smoke. Cormy Nanny would always have a smoke and you were always laughing.
Always.
They were never in bad form.
No.
Always laughing.
No, she was a great mum. She was
very like laid back.
Yeah.
Like she wouldn't really get stressed out or get like annoyed or angry. Like she was always up for a laugh. She'd always like her sisters would say, geez, if you were any more laid back, you'd be asleep. And we say that about Nicole as well. Like Nicole is younger than us. She's got 3 kids, but she's the most laid back person. And like she looks like her as well.
She's
like
the
long
image of
black
her.
hair.
Really? Yeah.
Really like a Maloney in the face, and we're all like Gallagher's, big cheeks, big bums. But yeah, like really laid back, but really funny. Like she'd be like that. If you want to go for a drink, you'd ring Imelda, or if you want a laugh, if you need a bit of cheering up, you'd ring her as well. Like, and I think that's what we miss.
I don't have any memories of her like worrying about things at all. Like it'd just be sitting, laughing, having the crack. Do you know? I wouldn't have any memories of her worrying at all.
But I don't know how they drank the way they did.
No.
Oh my God.
Well, no, to be fair, you are kind of getting there.
We do try.
You are getting up there, like, you know, as an outsider looking in. You know,
because you don't join in.
You are taking at it very well. We'll say.
Like Jamie, every year this picture pops up on her Facebook and she puts it up, and it is the best photo, isn't it?
It's the two of them laughing. And they're in a pub laughing, and their mum is on like she's squeezing my nanny's shoulders, but they're in stitches.
Yeah,
and someone obviously got it on photo and gave it to. They actually sent it to me through a Snapchat about 5 years ago, and I was like, oh my, why did I never see this before? But looking at me, like, that's true friendship. That's the way I remember them when we were on holidays, or if we were in the pub on a Sunday with them. They just laughed. Just so, like you'd never.
They laughed their way through life. Yeah.
And you were right. You were dead right.
That's the point of worrying.
I think what's hard is that there's not very many photos. Like, you know, now there's photos, you capture everything. Like you've videos of everything, and that you don't really have because like it was at the age it was, you know?
Yeah. It was early 2000s.
Though that I was asked for a photo with the girls and I didn't really have them.
Did you not?
No.
Do you not like getting in a photo?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't have like to size me.
I don't. It's a terrible thing. Like, and then you have to think back, oh God, I've no photos from them times. But I do try and say to myself, well, that means you had a good time if you haven't got your phone out all night and you're enjoying yourself. But then you want to have them.
Mm. And is that tattoo on your arm? Is that your mum?
That's my mum, yeah. Yeah. There's a few of them. That's our date that she passed.
Or I should tell people in the bar, it's the date I got out of prison.
That's the date I got out of joy when they asked me. Yeah.
When creeps are creeping.
That's the date I got out of joy. Yeah.
What is your husband local?
Yeah, so he lived down the road from us in Cabra.
Right, okay. So he gets it.
Yeah, he does.
Doesn't get a choice.
Yeah.
He is well used to it now, and I'd class him as a brother. I actually only said to Lindsay the other day, I don't think she's a bit impressed with me. Don't know what we were talking about, and I said, Lindsay, like, if you and him ever split up, because I know him nearly as long as I know her now, I said, I don't know who I'd pick.
Your sister.
But I love Kevin. I find it very, very hard between the two of them. She was not a bit impressed with me.
Like Grainne calls him her best friend as well. I'm like,
I know Kevin longer than I know Lindsay, because me and Kevin walked together in Croke Park when we were like 14 or something, and so I know Kevin longer. But yeah, like I've grown up with them for the whole relationship. So like at New Year's Eve, I never had a boyfriend. So I was like there toward Will. So when they were like kissing at midnight, I was like, me too, 3-way. So like Kevin will be me best. Like if I'm describing like Lindsay and Kevin, I'm like, no, they're my best friends. He's not just Lindsay's husband. He's my best friend. Do you know that kind of way? Just we're a very strange group.
Very odd group, actually.
People don't really like.
You were an actual very odd group, weren't you?
Yeah, we really wouldn't change it. No. Although after the comment tonight, I might have to.
We love you.
But I think that's a great thing like that. I find it hard to pick, but obviously I'd always pick Lindsay, but I'd be devastated.
You'd only be devastated because of the filth.
Yeah, he's a great cook.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, but like I just love him. Do you know? Yeah, he's part of our family now.
That's good though.
Yeah, it is. It is very
So
good.
how long are you with Kevin?
15 years.
Wow.
Do you not know every month is like our first kiss, our first hug? Yeah. This is our first date. This is our
Really like anniversaries.
Our relationship anniversary, then the wedding anniversary. I'm like, holy Jesus.
Yeah. Just pick one.
Yeah. Stick with it.
He says that every year though, can we just have one this year? I'm like, yeah. And then still on that date, you know, even the first kiss day, he always comes home with a bunch of flowers, or he'd always like, you know, send a lovely message.
Right, hang on. How do you remember first kiss and all that?
Lindsay remembers everything. I think she's bad at remembering everything. This one, I'd say, Jamie, do you remember that? And that night you wore that yellow dress and those brown shoes. Yeah, I remember that night. Oh, Jamie, do you remember such and such happened? Oh yeah, you had your hair up, you had a pink dress on, you had a purple bag. Yeah, I remember that night. She remembers everything.
And I'll remember the name of the person. I'll be like, that was your man Graham. Remember him?
And then tell me about Gogglebox and how that came about.
Oh God. So I'd watched the English one, loved it, happy days. And then I'd heard, I don't even know where I heard that they were going to do an Irish one. And at first I was like, me and Ma would be great at this, because we talk to the telly, we shout at the telly, we give our comments, you know, constantly. And I'm a big telly fan. There's nothing I don't watch. And we were at Lindsay's son's birthday party, and we were all sitting around, and Lindsay's sister-in-law had said that she was going to go for the casting for it. And I was like, no way, I only heard, I'd love to do it. And that was it. That was all that was said. And then a couple of days later, she got in contact with Lindsay or Ashley or something, was like, they wanted to get the family to do it. But then Nicole and Craig said no. So then they were like, look, we'll ask Jamie and Grainne. And when I was kind of going, the small part of me was like, I'm only going to fight them. I will fight them, but I know they'd say no, because we don't do anything like this.
No, gee, that's wrong, because they only wanted families, and you were like, oh no, but I really want to do it. I did really want to do it. The friends do it. So I said, look, I'll ask, and if nothing happens, it doesn't happen. And Catherine at the time said, no, they don't want friends. And she was saying they're looking for families. I really think Lindsay, Ashley, Nicole and Craig, because we were so young and so close in age, would be brilliant. But the other two didn't want to do it, and this one really wanted to do it, Grainne. So she was like, asking the friends to do it, and Catherine said no, it's only families. And then a few days later she said, look, how about we just do a little screen test and see how you get on. So Grainne was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And I think me and Lindsay said no, we didn't want to do it.
At that stage Nicole was like, I'll do it. But the day before we did like it
was like over a Zoom
like
thing.
An interview thing where it was in their sitting room. Nicole was like, girls,
She's hilarious. Like
she loves the
I'd say
camera.
she's actually really like more funnier than me and Lindsay. She is hilarious. But like she's always ready if a camera comes out, she'd always like pause. Whereas we just wouldn't.
Right.
You know, she's camera aware. So she was saying, I don't know how I wouldn't be able to relax in front of cameras or whatever. So she said no, and we said, right, okay, look, we're going to have to do it. Just do the screen test just for her, because Jamie's that saying, I'll do it if yous are doing it. You know, the usual. And we done the screen test.
In my head I thought, right, we'll do it, but we're not. It's just to do it and put ourselves out of our comfort zone, but we won't get it. Do you know what I mean? So in my head I'm going, we'll never have to do this. This is just a bit of crack now. We'll do the audition type thing, and then we won't get it, so it'll be grand. And no one will ever have to see it. No one will see what we've just done. And then we done the first one, and then it was like, right, come back and do a second one. And we're like, right, okay. And then you were like, look, this one that you do is going to go to Virgin Media. They'll do the sign, but it'll be a couple of weeks before we get any hear back. It's going over on the Friday. I remember sitting in work on the Friday going, Jesus, that's going over. And then I was sitting in work, getting ready to go for a few drinks with the girls in work, and the phone rang, and she was like, look, they've picked a top 5 and they've picked the top 3 and it's your top like in the 3. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah. And I was like, what? Then I had to ring these 3 separately, right? Go her, grand, this one. Fast asleep, didn't answer the phone. I was in, and we were told not to say anything, and I was in the middle of Temple Bar, and I kept saying to her, anyone got Jamie yet? And I kept ringing her. I was like, she wakes up now, she's going to think someone's dead, because it's going to be about 25 missed calls, messages, the whole lot. She rings me back, and I'm in the middle of Temple Bar, and I couldn't hear what it was, because no one's supposed to know where it was. We got it. She's like, go what? Fucking Gogglebox. She's like, oh, I thought someone died. I was like, oh my God, I've literally tried to get you for 2.5 hours. What were you doing? Time for me nap.
Yeah, she goes for a daily nap.
She used to have a siesta every day.
And were you nervous then in the moment, like, or?
I think the whole time we kept saying, Asha, look, we'll go for the crack, but we're doing it just to please her. We're never going to get it.
Yeah.
You know, every step when they'd ring back, they'd be like, yeah, we'd like you to do this. Oh, look, we'll do it for the crack. We're never going to get it. It doesn't matter.
Because they didn't want friends.
No.
Yeah. Family.
Yeah.
So you're like, we're not family. We're not going to get it.
We're
Plus,
never going to get it.
We were really funny.
No.
Like, what would people get from literally at the time 4 friends that aren't funny, slagging each other and slagging whatever we're watching? What is people going to like about that? We're never going to get it.
No. And in saying that, like, after we do every series, we're like, they're not going to want us back. And literally we get a phone call every series, and they're like, would you come back? And we're like, do you want us?
Yeah. They're like, we don't know who's more surprised, us or them.
Really?
Yeah, we'd be very surprised when we get the phone call, and then they'd be very surprised when we haven't even sat down to discuss the new season. Like, it's literally until we get the phone call, we don't even sit beforehand and say, oh, are we doing it this year? Are we not doing it? It's when they ring and we're like, yeah, grand, yeah, no problem, just send us on the dates, and then we'd sort it out between us. But like, even now, most of the time I'd forget that I'm on it. Like, I love doing it. I love sitting there with the girls, having the best time. Like, because you know yourself, even when it finishes, we do always say, oh, girls, we'll have to do this every week, like meeting up. But life gets involved, so you don't get the time. So this time you have to make together, and we do have great crack. And I love doing it, and I actually love me watching it, but I hate that everybody else gets to see it. Why? I don't like that part. Like, I don't like that everybody else gets to see us on it.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just because I don't get embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed by us, but like, that's like, you know, I would get shy.
Right.
Yeah.
Self-confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you be afraid of what people would say or their opinion?
Not anymore, no. I think season 1, season 2, we got an awful lot of stick.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, we were the babies out of the whole programme. And they kind of left everyone else alone, but they picked on us something terrible. And it was only, I think, season 3 when they started introducing new families,
right, that
they took it away from us, and people start picking on the new families. And then it eased in. It was all kind of good things. But season 1, season 2 wasn't nice at all, actually. Like, you wouldn't go on social media. Like, there'd be loads of good things, but you know the way you'd always look at that bad thing and that would stay in your mind, it'd resonate. But now I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't care. Wouldn't bat an eyelid.
And back then in season 1 and 2, when you were getting those things, were you having like a group WhatsApp where you were having the conversation, or are you just keeping that counsel to yourself and be like,
oh no, we'd have a group WhatsApp.
The WhatsApp group
the phone would be hopping.
Yeah.
Because we actually, I don't think the 4 of us have ever sat down and watched an episode together.
No. Once we did
because we were filming. We were filming on the Wednesday or the Tuesday whenever it was out, and we're like, do you know what? I think it was a good episode for us. I think we were on kind of looking through Twitter and things are going, the Cabra Girls, and it's like, girls, it looks like it's a good one for us.
Yeah, because you'd say, like, God, what have I said? Because you forget. Do you know, you don't get to see it beforehand. You get to see it like at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday when everybody else does. So you're like, oh God, what have I said this week or what's happening? But no, we've never really sat down and watched it.
No, we're all separate, so we're texting. And like, I could be ahead, or like I've put it on bang on 9 o'clock and you mightn't put it on till 10 past, so she's behind and I'm going, oh God, girls, this has happened. I haven't even got it on yet, but it's already fucking up.
Yeah. We're desperate.
Very bad.
And then what kind of thing, like what would be said, like what kind of stick?
No, now when she says like people picked on us, like it's not in the sense that like you're walking down the roads and be like, there's that one, like it wasn't anything like that.
No, it was all keyboard warriors.
Twitter. And like you'd get the odd look at them fat bitches, or did they ever stop eating, or you know, something like that, or they're very common, or it wasn't even about what she wearing, it was just more like the state of them. Yeah. You know, and like we can't really talk. We sit on the telly and we're more than likely like the state of her. Yeah. But we don't mean it in a mean or a bad way. And like we're not intentionally going out to make someone upset.
You're not putting on Twitter.
No.
Or like targeting somebody. We're not doing that. You know
I'd be of the opinion that like, you know, if you've got something bad to say on things like that, where you have to go in and type it, what is the point? Just don't bother. If I don't like it, I wouldn't even comment on it.
Yeah, like there was someone from the country that was really bad. Like he just wouldn't. Now I'm not even on Twitter, but I was in Spain and they were ringing me like, is Ashley all right? I was, what's wrong with Ashley? They're like, she's going mad on Twitter.
You were going mad yourself.
I was writing back.
I think he'd called us like 4 fat heifers
with a little rat or something. Talking about
the dog. And then
that's what got me.
Then it was like
my baby.
common knackers and just wouldn't stop about us. Like, and it was, you can only take so much. Do you know what I mean? And she was losing her life.
Breaking point. I think it was just. It seemed that night it was one after the other. So like Jamie got a phone call.
In the middle of Spain, I was like, what's up? I've now even credit to ring her. But I was just saying, don't get what they have to say about us is none of your business. Don't be going on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Like that stuff like that would go over my head. Or I'd slate them to myself. It's cheeky now. Look at them, state of them saying that. I like something else, Fraggle Rock, but I wouldn't write it. I'd probably say it to them, but I wouldn't write it. Do you know what I mean? And then I'd get over it. Do you know, that way? But that's what I'd try to say to myself. They don't know them.
Yeah. The more we do it, the more we've done it now. Like this is what series 7 now coming up. We're used to it now. Now, to be fair, the last couple of seasons, since season 3 maybe, we've it's been like the support has been immense. Like we haven't really had much bad comments really said to us.
And if we had, we wouldn't even pay attention.
And now we don't like that. If it is a bad comment, I like it.
Do you?
Do you know, just piss them off really. It's like, man, I like that, thanks.
Yeah, you just get used to it.
Yeah. You're not in my life. Like yours, I'll never see your face. That's why I say it now. If you put it on Twitter, I never see your face. I don't know who you are, where you're from. Do you know what I mean? You could be a 40-year-old man living in your man's basement. Do you know
your man's box room.
Do you know what I mean? I will never see you. You don't matter to me. So I'm kind of like that now. But at the very beginning, we are new to it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And they actually did try and sit us down and say, like, you know, this could happen and try to make us aware.
They have a counsellor.
Nothing prepares you for it. Do you know? Nothing prepares you. And we were one of the first families, along with the Grufferties, weren't we? That so they rang and said, look, it was supposed to be top secret. We weren't allowed to tell anybody. But we're going to put something in the paper tomorrow. It's going to be a tiny little article. And we're mentioning you and the Grufferties. And we were like, yeah, grand. And I think that, you know, the way on the Sunday papers, a lot of people have them on the Saturday night. The phone starts blowing up, me dad and all ringing. And he was like, oh my God, there is where right in the middle, the 2-page spread is the picture of the 4 of us talking about us, and they were taking stuff from like our Facebook pages. They were like, Lindsay likes such and such, Jamie likes such and such, Ashley likes such and such. We were like, oh my God, this is mad. This is mad. I think it's so much easier that it's the four of us. Like, I'd never get nervous doing anything with the other three. I'd say if I was doing it on my own now, I wouldn't do anything. But when it comes to three of them, I'm like, oh yeah, look, we'd be grand together. And
it's weird when one goes. So like we've had it where before COVID, one of us could have been on holiday, so we weren't there for that week. So we'd done 3. Or like last season when it was just me and Ashley for a lot of it. You feel the difference without having the other.
So hard.
It's like a comfort blanket and it's gone. Even if it's just one of them, it's gone. And we never really are the same when it's not 4.
Ooh. Whose house do you do it
in? Me and Lindsay's family home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the pink sofa, is that yours?
Pink sofa's on mine. I'm actually thinking about changing it in a few weeks.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to buy it, just put that out there.
And you know what? Like, when I got it, it just happened to be like, God, we had a sofa for about 10, 12 years. And the reason why I changed it was because my little dog passed away. And I was so used to looking over and seeing her on that sofa that I couldn't even do another season with that sofa. I can't watch the old ones and see her on the telly because I'd get very upset. So we went and got new sofas, and it just so happened then a lot of the other families were after doing up their gaffs and getting new sofas, and they must be giving them sofas away for free. I wish. I wish.
Sponsorship.
Yeah.
I wish they were.
Hashtag gifted.
And come here, do you get to meet the other families? Like, do you meet them at any point, or?
We've met a few of them over times. Like, we bumped into, like, we were at the Spice Girls and we were walking up the road to go into Crow Park to see them, and we heard people, there's them 4 wagons or 4 bitches or something we were called, and we were like that, turned around, and it was Dan and Don.
No way.
Behind us, yeah.
Then we were at Electric Picnic, and there was a big, huge group of us, and I stayed in an 8-man tent with like 6 other people in the 2 rooms, and they got like a 2-man teepee, so they were a little bit down the way, like Ashley and our +1, and
not Grainne and
no, not Grainne and +1. No, I'm like tag along Tess.
There's no +1s. It's just
yeah, okay.
She's still a bit bitter. Leave her.
I know, yeah, sour. But literally, like 3 tents down was Daddy and Mammy Moran.
Stop it.
Yeah, from me when I woke up one morning, dying, the 2 of us, and I looked out to see what it was like, and I walked back in, and then Grainne looked out the tent and she was like, there's Dennis Moran sitting outside on his little chair outside his tent. I was like, what? So the 4 of us sat together. We had a great time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm. And then we had the Grufferties.
Then we met the Grufferties inside. So yeah, there's Laura and the kids. And sure, they were giving out, why are you even doing staying here? You could be coming and going and sleeping in their house for the night. Don't be tenting it out when we could living in, as I say, their new mansion, because they're at the building a home and it's stunning. I was like, yeah,
gorgeous.
we could all stay there. The whole of VP could stay in your gaff.
Yeah, we've met a lot of the older, so like John and Dave, we were at a pub quiz with them. Tracy and Nita.
It's real like a family. Like, you know, you're always egging each other on, or that was a great episode, guys. And it's just really nice, like, to be involved in something with all these lovely people, you know. And like every year, there's obviously some families go, some families join, and there's never really been anything like, oh, they're not the best, or they shouldn't have went around. And it's kind of just like you accept what happens, and you're just delighted that it was a great episode and everyone got on really well, you know.
Yeah.
And is it a thing that is like for the first episode, probably season 6, you're going into season 7, don't give a shit, but getting dressed, like you love your clothes and you're like, oh, what are we going to wear? What are you wearing? And all that kind of thing.
No.
You do for like
for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're saying, well, look back and we'll see when the last time I wore that. Did I wear that last week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
even
kind of.
like to the extent of doing your makeup and all, the first 2 weeks you're like, yeah, I'll put the winged eyeliner and all that.
Yeah.
You get to the 3rd and 4th week, you're like a knacker.
You barely washed your hair, it's dry shampoo and it's up in a bun.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And is there any nervousness with you that you say, you go like, oh God, I said that, I shouldn't have said that?
No, not really, because most of the time we forget, and the editing team are amazing at what they do. Yeah, they are. Like, they pull off a great show, because considering there's like hours and hours and hours of footage, do you know, of us 4 just
Talking
sitting there
shite.
talking shite.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, we should like be watching telly and instead we're talking about Peter up the road. Do you know, because we're catching up.
Yeah.
So like they have to edit that down, but no, I don't worry whatsoever.
No, we don't worry. It's more when it comes out and you go, oh my God, that Erin, what I said. And you've said something like
pissing in a bag.
Pissing in a bag, or Humpty Dumpty was a brick, or the one of the stand up to cancer, and I'll never forget it. It haunts me to this day. It was stand up to cancer, and we didn't watch it together. Because I used to live at home with my parents, and I had my tellies here, and I was here. Dad was here, my mum was here behind me, and when it came on, I went, no. These big testicles came down from the sky, and I went, get a good tea bag out of that, and they aired it, and all I could hear was my man and dad giggling, and I don't know what I was more embarrassed about. One, that I'd said it and now they're hearing me say it, or that they knew what that was. I was
Go down, Christy.
I was like that in the chair with it, as I always watch it with a cushion, even to this day.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I'm just a bit, so I still watch it like this, and but that night I was like, never again. Can't believe the year. Now it was funny, I didn't take offence to it.
Very funny,
but it was more like, he's after hearing his daughter say
you
that.
don't.
And why is he laughing? Why do they know what that is?
Yeah.
Do you know? But so a few things like that, but otherwise no.
There's often a time where I'd be the one to say something really stupid and
Which happens weekly.
Right.
Let's be honest. Happens weekly.
but it's just normal. It's not in any way other than I didn't realise that this was going on or whatever. And poor Kevin gets abuse. He works in the local bar the last 10 years, and all the elves come in the next morning. Kevin, I was watching your wife on the telly last night, and he comes home. You know, if I'm talking about him on the telly, being like, Kevin did this, he'd just be like, Lindsay, will you stop it? Just stop. The elves literally
isn't it
mad
gas?
about it, yeah.
And come here, how do you deal with the fame of it all? Because I'm sure you do get recognised and sitting out, or how do you deal with that?
Well, I just completely blank it.
Do you?
Yeah, I run the opposite direction. If I'm on my own and someone stops and asks, oh my God, you that girl off Gogglebox, I just say no and walk away. I would get quite embarrassed, do you know, or if they smile and nod at me, I'll smile at them back, but I'll be looking at them saying, I don't know you.
Right.
But they're trying to place you in their head. But then if we go anywhere, the four of us together, God, it's not worth it.
Really?
Yeah. It's not, and we don't anticipate it. I think we forget.
Yeah, we do.
We do forget.
When you're with Jamie, it's like she's the most recognisable one. Everyone
Because
just
I'm
be
on the end.
do you think?
Yeah.
It's either that or it's me. I'm finding out now that I have to wear a face mask. It's my voice.
It is your voice.
It's like, you're a whore, aren't you? Excuse me? Me? Yeah.
And how do you deal with it?
I just kind of yeah. And then I just stand there till they say something else. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God. But sometimes I take redness really very easily.
Right.
And my face here to be, please stop it, it's come from my neck. And people just, oh my God, can I get a picture with you? And at first I was like, yeah. And now I'm like, it's COVID. Do you want a picture 2 meters apart?
Yeah.
and kids are like, you're off the telly. I'm like, yeah. Can I get a picture with you? And one of them said to me, hey, you're off the telly. This was only the other day. And I was saying, yeah, I'm not me cousin. I'm now it's cousin. Age, yeah. To be now it's cousin. I was like, you little pig, yeah. But he was just like, no, you're not on the telly. I made a tick to another yeah, I am. Virgin Media 1, yeah.
Every week, actually.
But when I'm with these, I don't mind. But when I'm on my own, I'd be scarlet.
And come here, what about your little boy? Because he is obviously, you were on Gogglebox before he was born.
Yeah.
So do you explain it to him that Mam's on the telly?
Yeah, he'd be in bed when it's on, but I record it or whatever I show him, and he'd say, "Man, you're on the telly." Or if he sees it and someone tells him, "Man, you're on the telly," but he doesn't really get it. Do you know that way? I was a play school teacher. A lot of the kids, you see, you were on my telly last night.
I was watching everything you were
staring at you
doing
last night on the telly. And to be staring at me, then, did you see me in my house last night? I'd be like, no.
You should say that and say, yeah, I hope you were being a good girl.
But he doesn't really kind of get it at the moment. He's just like, she's me man.
Yeah, Morgan gets it now, doesn't he? Because Morgan's
only
9.
now. Yeah. He doesn't really watch it. It's only if something happened that one of his pals is talking about. Be like, Ma, can I watch that? But I
think he just thinks it's normal that his mum and his auntie is on the telly.
Yeah. And he got to be on one of the episodes as well, so he absolutely loved it.
So I'm going to take it back a little bit, and I hope you don't mind, Ashley, because it is something it's not really talked about, and it's the loss of an animal.
Oh, my little Minnie.
My friend.
Our little Minnie. Because she was our family dog. Like,
Really?
She was 17 when she passed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I missed her something terrible.
And it's hard because my friend, she lost her dog and she was devastated. And then I was down at the centre down the road, and the man was helping me with me shopping, and he says to me, I said to him, "Oh, thanks a million." And he goes, "Oh, thanks a lot." And he goes, "Have you a dog?" And I said, "Yeah." And the man burst into tears on me.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Oh, we just lost our dog yesterday."
Oh God.
Jeez.
And I was like, and he was like me dad. And I just choked, and I was like, so it's something that people who don't have animals or don't have dogs or cats, are like, I'll get over it.
Yeah, but like Minnie was part of our family. Do you know, like...
Yeah, she was.
She was. And even lately, you wouldn't have been as close to Minnie. But even when she did die, Lindsay was very upset. And I think it kind of caught you by surprise how upset you were, didn't it?
Yeah, because I was in the room with you when they put her asleep because I didn't want her to be on her own. It was an awful experience. And then having to carry her home in the blanket and all, like, them memories don't leave you.
And then I made her take pictures of her. So like I have pictures of Lindsay sitting with me.
But you know what happened, right? So we're sitting there. She's
I'm
like, let's try capture this or whatever, you know. And my son and our nephew Brandon, he comes in, and we were like, we don't know how. Like the kids obviously haven't lost anybody before. Like Minnie was like there all their lives, so we're like, you know, this is Minnie, and you know she's not going to be here anymore. And next of all, Brandon goes, "Rip, Minnie, rip!" Like rest in peace, but rip.
I wanted to throw him through the window.
Just started shouting all over the house, but it was a funny moment. Like it really lightened the mood.
It did.
Then we had like a ceremony out in the back garden.
Like she's buried in the back garden.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of like Kevin and their brother Craig and I can't remember who else was digging, and the boys, Brandon and Morgan, were digging, and then we put her down, and she's out in the back. So that we have like all these little things on the tree.
Is it a huge loss?
Really is, because I have her son Max and he's 10 now, and I'd give him away tomorrow in a heartbeat to have one more day with her. I really would. I'd be like, someone just take him. No, I love him, but he's so bold, whereas Minnie was so great. She was so placid.
Really?
Yeah And even like watching back, or you know, if I catch an old ad, if it comes up and she's on it, I'd kind of go, oh God, I miss her something terrible. Like I was devastated. It took me a few weeks to get over the fact that she wasn't coming back.
Really?
Yeah, because there was like, I lived alone for years, so there was only me and her in the house. Do you know, it was quite hard.
And other than Max, will you replace her?
He is a tricky little person.
Right.
He is not quite fond of humans, and he's very protective of his house. So like, you know, the old post gets it in the morning, like shredded. Like he'd be a bit aggressive with strangers coming into the house. So I'd have to be careful all the time with him. If not for now, I said I'd never get one after Minnie, but to try and calm him, I would, but I don't know how he'd take to it because he is quite territorial. He's a little shit.
Very, very. Now
He likes who he likes.
I like him.
I like him, but I've an awful fear of him as well.
I don't.
He's literally Minnie's double. And only in the past few weeks I've noticed how old he's getting around his eyes and all. Because when I get him caught, like if I got €1 for every time I walked out with him and someone stopped and said, oh my God, I'd be a millionaire. He is so handsome. But I'd be like, don't touch him. He hates humans. Hates humans. I should get a sign. He hates humans. Don't even look at him. And he walks around thinking he's the bee's knees. Like he struts, doesn't he? He's a little terror.
Jamie, if I can ask you about your granddad.
Yeah, my granddad passed in December. With the lockdown, obviously, from last March, he wasn't. My granddad used to go for a couple of pints every day. And he was real placid, man. Like he never raised his voice.
No, he was a lovely man.
You could put a bleeding car through his house and he'd say, oh, for fuck's sake. And that'd be it. Do you know what I mean? Never raised his voice or anything. So with the lockdown, we wasn't really seeing him. And he lived alone. My nanny passed 5 years ago. So we were trying to, like, I was cooking a dinner. My ma was trying to just be the sole person going into him because our sister works in the matter. two brothers, one of them works in the buses, so he wasn't off, and our other brother works in the corporation, so they were all still in work. So my mum was saying, look, where everyone is isolating, I'll just bring the dinner in or whatever. So I was only kind of seeing them once a week. And I was saying, Jesus, fucking hell, like 9 months passed, and I was only at seeing them probably about 20 times. And only, there you are, Granda, how are you? Here's your dinner. What would you like tomorrow? Or would you like me to go down and get you a little pint? No, nothing. And he just wasn't well. Oh, he actually fell, and he rang and he says, can you just come around and pick me up? He fell going into bed, and when I picked him up, like, I could feel his bones. I was like, man, he was never a big man, as in weight-wise. I was like, Jesus, he must have lost so much weight. So we were supposed to go to Boston, obviously didn't get there with the COVID. So my mum and her sister says, look, I'm going to ring the doctor, try to get the doctor down to him or whatever. With COVID, doctor wouldn't come down, which was ridiculous. So they eventually got him up, and doctor just took one look at him and says, get that man to the matter, or he's going to pass. That was in the October, the midterm sometime, so it had to be the end of October. So they went down, and they were saying, like, yeah, what is it? Like, we think it's pleurisy or whatever. It might be ammonia. We were like, yeah, Grant. And my man, her sister, just says, look, he's had to be in for 9 months. He has not had COVID. We're had to protect him from COVID. We want him head to toe because we don't know what's wrong with him. We want it done. So they were looking for everything. They were ringing us, asking us questions about, because he wasn't great at swallowing. Right. And he had emphysema. So I was saying to him, it has to be the next stage of emphysema. I'd say they'll give him a little oxygen tank and he'd be grand. And then a doctor came back and said he's motor neurons disease and he's in the end of life care. So that was like a big, big shock.
Oh my God.
That was in the November. So he was in 4 weeks and they found out he had motor neurons disease. And then they said, like, you can bring him home. He had a peg up his nose because he wasn't allowed to eat anymore. His throat was starting to stop. So we are all trying to say, right, if we can't get palliative care in yet, because we're saying, no, he'll live another year. He has the maximum of a year left. But yeah, he couldn't really walk on his legs.
What kind of shock was that to all of you?
It was mad. And I was saying to him, how did we not know the science? And everyone kind of felt a bit of guilt, but it was COVID. No one could get around to him. You couldn't sit with him. And then he used to go for his little few pints to get a taxi down. And my ma and our sister used to take turns collecting him. Well, we hadn't done that for 9 months. Yeah. Do you know, that way? So no one seen him. Like, he was always a little bit unsteady on his feet or whatever. And like, when they said it was stage 4, we were like, what? That's unacceptable. Like,
it's very rapid.
And then my granddad would always be, he took a few mini strokes a couple of years ago. Nothing major. He was fine. Like, but he's from the country, so he was always really hard to try and understand.
I could never understand the word.
Especially with a drink on him.
He'd just say, there you are. And I'd be like, yeah, Grant.
You get the nod.
Yeah. So he used to go up to Mary's, St. Mary's, and she never once said an inkling of motor neurons disease, nothing. Like, and he went to every appointment. And what really sounded the alarm with me man and her sister was that he was at the getting a checkup in September, and when he went back in October, that's losing like a stone. Here I was, he lost a stone. How did he lose a stone? I was a little bit raging. It was me and him are eating the bleeding same. I'm puking for him. But we were trying to bring him home, and then it just got a little bit too hard. He was being put on a peg into his stomach, and he couldn't breathe with the emphysema, with the motor neurons. He was gasping for breath. They kept saying if you give him too much oxygen, it'll dry up his lungs, make him worse. So they advised my family to try to get him into the hospice. So we tried to get him to stay in the hospital. We were saying, like, he is very sick. We know he's very sick and he stay here, but with COVID, they weren't having a bar of it. So up to the hospice he went, and he passed away within 3 days. Yeah.
So fast.
Yeah, he passed away before Christmas, a week before Christmas, 16th.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he was grand. He went up on the Friday and I went up on the Saturday. And my granddad would be very quiet. So I was sitting there reading. They used to keep the paper for me. Wouldn't give the paper to anyone every day. Give that to Jamie, or the magazine. Don't take that. Give that to Jamie. And it's guys I haven't read a paper since.
You're not getting it free off your granddad.
Yeah, I don't like buying them. But yeah, we went up and he was saying, I just want to go home. I don't know who's paying for this. And we were saying, Granny, you worked all your life. We were telling him it's like a respite. You're not going to tell someone that you're sitting in a hospice. But we genuinely thought we were going to get Christmas out of him. And the Monday then we were all in work and a doctor just rang me ma. My ma was actually after ringing them and saying, come here, can you set out a date? I know with COVID, but he's 13 grandkids and they'd all like to go up before Christmas. And where he was like a little garden beside him. Right. So we were saying if we can get the kids into the garden and one by one they could just go into them. And she, let me ring you back. And she rang me ma back. She says, I'm actually ringing you to tell you that your father's taking a turn. So my ma rang all of us, went up, and by the time we got there, they were just putting him on the pump. That was the Monday, and he lasted till the Wednesday on the pump. Now, he was kind of in and out, like he wasn't waking and talking, but he was kind of, if you went into the room, you're saying, oh, Granddad's me, he'd be kind of opening his eyes a little bit or whatever. But like the hospice were very good. And I know during COVID, they were so strict and so hard. But like my ma has just 4 of them, plus myself, that's 5. My own nanny's sisters would class him as nearly their second father. Then my ma has a sister that's not really a sister. She was just reared with them. Like just
every family, I think, every community.
There was about 15 of them at one stage wanted to go up, and they were saying no, only 4 are allowed in. And then I was kind of saying, I don't give a really bollocks who's I'm going in. But and in fairness, they gave us a family room, and when he was passing down, we called them all over, so we were all actually there when he passed. So it was nice. His own sister, his siblings, all their partners, and myself, we were there. So it was nice to have that, considering not many people have during the COVID. But the shock of it, even now, I don't think, really, like it's 5 months on, and I can't believe my granddad's dead. But I think because we're not meeting. You're not seeing your family, you're not seeing your friends. You're not like, I haven't gone to grave or whatever. But I said to you, ma, you're not seeing people say, oh, there you are, how are you? The normal way to grieve, that way. I'll go up there and have a cup of tea with her. I don't think it's at all.
You didn't see him before either, so
like that's what my ma sister said. She said, sometimes I'm having a bad day. I say, no, he's in the house, he's fine, he's in the house. Do you know, that way? Because it's not like you can ring and say, oh, I'm having a bad day, do you want to go for a walk, do you want to go to pictures, do you want to do something? You can't, do you know, that way. So and then when you do see someone, they're saying, oh God, yeah, Dad, and here I am, oh God, please don't call me about me granddad, do you know, that way. So I don't know, but I do feel that like my own family themselves haven't grieved yet. Because like that, they haven't been together, that way.
Didn't get to celebrate them either,
Yeah, exactly. Now, in fairness, we got the funeral out of the way, and then the next day, the Christmas lockdown hit. So we were blessed. We were allowed 25 in the church.
Yeah, sure, we couldn't even go to funeral. No.
We were allowed 25 in the church and 50 back in the pubs are open. We were allowed 50 into the pubs once they stayed at their table.
And like that, it was an awkward conversation because we were saying, we'll stand outside the church, and at the same time she's texting and she's like, girls, look, I'm really sorry, 50 back at the afters, and Jamie has a really big family, and she was worried about having to tell us not to come, and we're saying, don't you even think about that, don't be worried about it. You shouldn't have to worry about something like that, when like somebody is after passing. But yeah, it was just sad that we couldn't even be there.
To be there for her.
Yeah. Or to even have them night, where you can say, Jamie, come down for a cup of tea, or just knock up unexpectedly to see if she's all right, to see how she is. You can't do that.
All he did was bleed and arrange a flower delivery.
Yeah.
Sick of the flower woman.
Yeah, flowers everywhere.
Me too.
It's nuts, isn't it? It's
just mad.
And can you imagine the amount of men, and it is mainly probably men, that are on their own out there, your granddad's age, who went to the pub for their pint, and even if they didn't talk to anyone,
they went down, had their paper, had their pint.
Yeah,
that was their routine.
Yeah, that was my granddad's routine. Probably all his life. He walked all his life. He'd be finished work at 2:00, come up to me nanny, back down. He'd be home for 6. Do you know that way? And that's how we tried to keep that going after me nanny passed. Like, he was at the retirement, so I let him keep his little routine going. And I was saying, maybe he's after losing the weight because he's not drinking the Guinness. You know, you're trying to think of all these excuses, but it was literally the mouth I knew around ripping through him. And then when on the Wednesday, everyone was saying, have to get me hair done for Christmas, have to do this, have to do that. I was at saying to me ma and our sister, I'll sit with him. You just go get his hair done. It's grand. And I would be very close to my granddad. My ma had me when she was 16. So my nanny and my granddad were like my second parents. Do you know what I mean? Spite me bleeding rotten. I said, I'll sit with him. It's grand. So I was sitting with him and his sister was there. She's from Cork. And we were sitting there and I was saying, Granddad, you know it's grand. If you want to go, imagine here I was passing him over. You want to go now? You go. I said, I'm too mad at cheek. You didn't say that. You want to go now, Jim? You can go. I'm here now. You can go. Go on. You can go to me nanny and all. I was telling them. I remember stories they told me years ago when they first met and all that used to buy our chocolate. Before that's how we got talking. So I used to buy a bar of chocolate because they worked together. I said, no wonder she went out. I tried to go out with someone to buy me another chocolate. But and then he started passing. Here I was, Jim, don't start now acting the bollocks. Me man kill me. But then I just called the nurse in. She said, yeah, ring your family. It's not going to be too long. He passed then about an hour and a half later then.
And you always used to joke about things like that. Like
when he was coming home, I said, right, I'll do Wednesday and say Friday night. And I was saying to them, oh God, I hope he doesn't die on my watch because I'm crap at staying awake. So here I was, like, imagine I woke up and he was dead.
And we'd have to keep saying, no, you wouldn't. Don't be worrying. That won't happen. And then you're saying, oh God, I hope that doesn't happen to her.
Because you know she's asleep as well.
I'm crap. I'm crap at staying awake. If I'm tired, I'm gone. Nothing I can do. My body just takes over. I'm like a newborn. I'm gone. But here was, oh God, what? And here I was, oh my God, I can't, man. Here she was, yeah, just get me here. I think my granddad's going to pass. Here she was, Jamie, don't fucking start now. We're a little bit of weight, man. I'll just hurry. And then one of my man's brothers, God love him, I rang him. I said, do you want to make your way up? Because the nurse started telling me he's going to pass soon. He said, I have to go and collect my car in Fisborough and then I'll be up. But do you think I have enough time? I said, yeah, it's up to yourself, yeah. Then you must ring him and tell him to go up here. It was, she's had to telling me to tell you just come. If you could come up now, that'd be great.
Forget about the car.
He can't wait for you to go to Fisborough to get the car.
But like I'd be they'd class me, John and Jimmy and Ashley, they'd class me as say our younger sister, their niece, their younger sister. So you saying, Jamie, what do you think? And here I am. I'm not that big to be making a decision. Do you know what I mean? But in fairness, we are all there, and that's the way my granddad would have wanted it. And he got a good send off compared to other people in the county.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Considering it's mad, but sure, what can you do? But I don't really feel that. I don't feel myself he's gone sometimes. Do you know that way? They'd be like, oh. And I think it's through COVID. I think because you can't meet up with people, you're not walking around. Life's not back to normal.
It'll probably be when you go to club for a drink.
Yeah. Like that's not
it's back open now because our granddad drank down the club, and when we go down, he'd always be perched at the bar.
Yeah, he has a seat.
At the bar, yeah.
It'll be
maybe
then.
that's that. Yeah, it hasn't been open since.
Yeah, it might be then when you go in, you might get a bit of a fright. We'll all get a bit of a fright not seeing him at the end.
Yeah.
She'd go over and ask for money for a drink off him. That's what she'd be missing.
No, that was it, a little thing we had. I'd buy him one drink, he'd buy me four.
We'd all be going over here, Jim.
I'd say, no, I'll buy the first pint and he'd nearly buy the next four. Grand.
God love the fella who's sitting in the seat when we go in.
Oh God.
Ready, Jay, you're up.
Yeah. Now, sure, what can you do? That's life. But I wouldn't like him to perish any more than he did in that motor neuron. Like, and then obviously we were doing a bit of research on it. You hear of people that like they have the breathing tube, and I was saying, God, they get paralysed nearly. It's like, no way. At least he could move his hands, move his legs. He could move what he could, do you know, that way.
Yeah.
So thank God he didn't get to that bad, because how heartbreaking that would have been, you know. Like, and we were all there, and my granddad loved his family, you know, that way. So it was great that we were there for him.
These are such a close family.
Oh, yeah.
He is very close.
Yeah, like we all live in Cabra. there's only one that lives in Blanche.
No,
And when she comes in, we're all like, Darty's in. Where's Darty? You going to Darty? Are you coming around to see Darty? Now it's like, Darty's at Moritz Gate. You're walking around to Moritz Gate to see Darty over this bleeding COVID. But we're all just really, really close.
And
we all
for
live
such
in
a
Cabra.
big family, is really close.
Yeah.
How are you all finding COVID?
I'm finding it tough now. I'm sick of it.
The second lockdown was a lot worse than the first. I think because the first one was this time last year. So it was bright, it was sunny. It didn't really team, but like
you had the bingo night sketch.
Yeah.
Cabra kept doing bingo nights.
So
and that
it was
great.
Christmas. So we hadn't seen each other from when we finished filming. We hadn't been in the room together up until
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Because I actually brought over Lindsay's kids' Christmas presents and all Lindsay's Christmas stuff.
Yeah, and I had to knock up and give Jamie hers and then give Grainne hers not so long ago as well.
Once.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But like,
it was tough, this one. I really did struggle with this one.
There was days where I struggled, and then there was days, like I had a dream the other night that I was walking through a shopping centre and nobody had a mask on. It was back to the way it was, right? And I was looking at everybody and I was saying, where's your mask? Where's your mask? Like, what are you doing walking around without a mask? And they said, where's your mask? And I done that to me mouth and I hadn't got one. And I woke up in a fright because I'm so used to now going out, having your mask, people wearing masks, that like, I'm saying, is it ever going to go back to that way? Mm-hmm. That it takes over you that you don't even realise that you're doing it anymore. Mm. Do you know?
How are you, Lindsay?
I have to say, like, I'm not one of these people who, like, you know, meditate or manifest or anything like that. But from the start of lockdown, even till now, I keep on thinking to myself, it could be so much worse. Yeah. You know, I'm getting to be at home with the kids. I've worked since I'm 14, like all the years. You never get the time unless it's maternity leave, and even at that it's a struggle being at home when you're maternity leave and you're going back to work 6 months later. So I've really tried, like I don't want to sound really stupid, but I really tried to embrace it. And like I love being at home. I love dropping the kids to school. I never had that like that because I was dropping them off at like 7 o'clock in the morning and they'd like get to school and I wouldn't be home till 7 o'clock that night. So to get that time at home with them, I've really, really enjoyed. And like the first lockdown was really hard. We didn't see each other at all and we'd be really close. Like the four of us, as we said, like Ashley, Lindsay, Nicole and Craig. And like my brother lives like out in my back garden and Ashley and Nicole live next door to one another. So we're literally in each other's pockets. But for the first lockdown, we were separate. So I was with Craig and she was with Nicole and I was getting angry at her being like, you're with Nicole and I'm not with you. And then she's like, well, you have Craig.
I was, like, it was really, it was very hard. It was very, that part I struggled with. Like not being able to go over and see Lindsay and the kids, or not being able to go and see Craig, or not being able to even the kids, the babies, to play with one another. Like, because Billy would say, I miss my cousins. I want Caoimhe and Quillen because they're his best friends. And the girls would say the same. I just want to see Billy. And how do you explain? You can't see them. Like it was so hard. That was the hardest part. But like that, I loved every other minute of it.
Like even like I went back last week full time. And to say I'm exhausted, I don't know how we did it at the pace we did it before. Like I think there's a lot of good things are coming out. Yeah, there's really, really bad things, but I think there is a lot of good things where you don't miss like the expensive clothes or the drinks,
expensive nights out.
Yeah. Like in Temple Bar or whatever. You miss your pals and being able to have a cup of tea or like you just miss them little things.
That's giving you perspective.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Yeah, like it's definitely, I think, highlighted the work-life balance. Do you know, whereas before you were working to live, whereas now it should be that, no, am I saying that's the opposite way?
You're working to live, yeah.
I live to work, whereas now you're working to live. Have I flipped that?
Yeah. No,
we know what you're trying to say though.
Yeah. Like you go in, do your work and then just come home. Like you shouldn't be doing the extra hours or sitting over a laptop at night time or anything like that, or worrying about it.
Stressed out.
Just switch off. There is no point.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going back to the office. Can't imagine it. No. Don't want to do it. If I could work from home for the rest of my life, happy out.
It's coming though.
No, I know, yeah. Like, I'd say we'll be back by September. And I've seen my niece and nephew more now because even though I'm working, I can run down the stairs and have a quick little play and run back up then do another little bit. And I never got that before.
Yeah, but then do you remember how hard it was when lockdown was really bad and they weren't allowed around?
They went there.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
That's lockdown 1.
That was so hard.
That was so hard.
Lockdown 1 was my favourite.
They wouldn't even come into the garden.
My favourite too.
My brother came home from England and all, I was delighted.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see my kids.
Lockdown 1 was great.
That's the only thing I didn't
isolated
like.
together. I loved it. Loved it.
A lot of people did do that. A lot of people self-isolated together. Like their families came home from abroad and they did that and it worked really well.
Well, when I was home for 8 weeks, I was thrilled. And now we haven't seen him. He's at buying a house and all.
Before lockdown was just about to happen, or I was announcing that was happening, Lindsay rang me and she'd actually, look, pack your bags and come over and you can stay with us. And I was saying, oh God, will I? Won't I? Because then Nicole is next door and like that was very hard. She had Lindsay out the back, Craig out the back, but it was hard to even make that decision. I was like, no, look, I'm grand here. Like, what am I going to do with the dog? The dog will have to come with me. And she was like, we'll make room for you. You'll be grand, but like, don't do it on your own. You know, don't stay in the house on your own.
And God love anyone that did have to do it on their own because it was so long.
Yeah.
And it still is. You know what I mean? It's still going on.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And can we use, we said off mic earlier at the start of this that you're doing Darkness into Light tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, me and Lindsay are doing it tonight and Jamie's doing it with her whole family tonight. We're after been trying to persuade Grainne, but she's not having a bar of it, which is weird because she normally does every year.
And why don't you want to do it?
She's just tired.
Just not mentally prepared for it. Really, like, normally I'd
be very emotional.
Normally I'd be like, right, I'm doing it this year and I prepare myself up for it. I haven't done it this year, so I'm just not there yet.
You're a bit of a crybaby as well.
A bit of a whinger, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're the emotional one.
Me and Lindsay.
Them too.
Me and Lindsay. Like when Jamie's nanny died, she spent a day comforting us too.
Never again.
What's the misconceptions people have of you, do you think? Do you know?
Oh God. What a tricky question.
People think I'm very bossy and I'm actually not.
No, like
That's
someone
Jamie.
say to me, your friend Jamie is mad. Like I wouldn't want to do anything on her because she looks like she'd kill me stone dead. My friend Jamie is all talk. She is afraid of her own shadow.
I'm a mouth in the house. That's what I am.
Yeah,
But
she
I wouldn't do that. And so how I love you.
Yeah.
She wouldn't say boo to anybody, but
No.
I think that's a big misconception.
Grainne?
God, I don't know. Never thought about it before, really.
No, me either. I wouldn't know. What
That I
people-
don't know. Like,
what
I
people would
think, like from things that people have said to us, I think what you see is what you get. We are just four friends who sit and slag each other and watch the telly and slag who's ever on it. It is what you see is what you get. Do you know, in that terms. So I don't know.
And season 7's coming, is it?
Maybe
Hope so.
September, yeah, if we get the phone call.
Yeah.
We never know till
You have to wait till you get
end
the
of
phone call.
August. So phone call comes, then we'll decide.
What's the future for you?
In terms of Gogglebox?
In terms of you guys, 4 of you guys.
I'd love to get on. I'm a celeb. I would.
You wouldn't go on that.
I would, Grainne.
You would
I
not.
wouldn't do a trial, but I'd go on.
I'd vote for you to
Everyone
do
would
a
be
trial.
starved.
Well, hopefully we get a little holiday away, a little girls' weekend away.
Yeah.
Even
then-
down the country anyway.
Yeah.
No, the cold text is booked. We're going.
Is it booked?
Yeah.
Is it booked?
Well,
Yeah.
At least there's something done. Then we were thinking a family holiday away, then a couple's holiday away, and then just,
And when they say family, I'm going.
Right.
I don't know. Like there's not really.
I'm trying to get over to me brother as soon as I can. He's in Milton Keynes playing football, but he's at to buying a house.
Fab.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh my God, my 22-year-old brother's at buying a house and 31 and I'm still bleeding rent. But sure, what can you do? So I'm trying, that's me aim this year. I do nothing else if I just get over to see him because I haven't seen him in ages. That's just about for me.
Lindsay?
I'm hoping to get an attic, convert the attic.
Lovely, Lindsay.
Lindsay, how you doing? That'd be amazing.
Oh, I hope so, yeah. Well, if Craig moves out, then I'll do something out the back.
What are you going to put up there?
Like
Maybe a new
playroom.
baby. Yes.
Oh, Lindsay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Malcolm's catching.
Yeah.
Would you have one of them?
I say every year I'm going to have another baby.
You wanted
Then
5.
I say that in the January, then the February I say no. No, I'm not doing it.
Before even I had kids, like Morgan's 9 now, Jamie's like, I want 5. 4's a blessing, 5's like a maze.
I'm on 1.
Yeah, 1. I'm like, where's that football team you were building all them years ago?
Yeah. It's just, don't get me wrong, Kobe's a dream and all. I would love more kids, but I'm just like, not yet. Because he's at that age and I'm getting a bit of my life back together.
And there's so many things happening, like any of it, like any birthdays or holidays. Like Jamie would say, right, no one get pregnant.
I'd go to an open envelope. I love it. Love parties, love seeing my friends, love socialising.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm after getting a bit more dependence background, you know what I mean? He's at that great age. But every year, I'm saying it since he's 1, have another baby this year. Then next month, no, not yet. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Well, on that note, girls, I'll leave it there. Thank you all so much for sitting down